Do the boys want more? That's not the response. What commercial was that? The boys want less. Was that like less filling, tastes great, something or other?
Probably something like that. But I didn't know where you were going with that, so I just figured I would just...
Yeah, the boys want more, the boys want less, and you're going to get less today, but you're going to get more of us. I'm Joel Comm, that's Travis Wright. This is the Bad Crypto Podcast.
This is episode number 500
Exactly that number, in fact. And we are the show for the crypto curious, the crypto serious, we're the blockchain blockheads, the crypto clowns, the DeFi doofy, the NFT nerds, and what else can we be?
We can be lots of things. We are the podcast pimps today, talking.
I didn't know where you were going with that. I almost thought that was going to be podcast penises. I'm really glad that it was pimps.
The pimps, or the pimps of podcasting. You know, I thought this guy's I thought this was actually Joel Comm we were talking to for a second, because he kind of looks like you, except, and we do have a photo to prove it. We have met him at an event. I had it on my phone, and so you can actually check the show notes for it. But he was looking pretty much like Joel, and then Joel said, nope, I'm going to grow my hair out, but I'm not going to tell Les this. And then so whenever we did the interview, Les was like, oh no, I don't look like you as much anymore. Now Les is probably growing his hair out.
Yeah, so I am now on, I want to say 10 months with no cut. So
wow.
It is flowing and growing, and there's no sign that I'm stopping. Oh, I need my beach ponytail. No man buns, though.
You're going to have a man bun. You know what's going to be funny is, like, you're going to be asleep sometime, like, Aaron, look at his hair in a man bun. And they take it over. Then we'll make it an NFT, we'll put it on IPFS, and then it'll be there forever.
Got some exciting news to share with you guys about Matrixport. They just raised a cool $100 million in their Series C funding, valuing the company.
$100 million?
Mm-hmm. The value is now over $1 billion. It makes them the latest crypto unicorn. They're the fastest growing crypto financial platform in Asia, offering retail and institutional investors some of the largest variety of yield products on the market. And as an introductory offer to listeners of this show, new users can earn an enormous 30% APY on USDC stablecoin deposits. If you sign up through the link I'm about to give you, 30% simply by holding your USDC in a Matrixport account. badco.in/Matrixport. Try to get 30% interest at any bank. In fact, try to get interest at all of any percentage at any bank. You can't. badco.in/Matrixport. Go check it out, and we thank them for being a sponsor of this here show.
Yeah, 30% APY. Now, let's chat with Les Borsai.
A couple years ago, I encountered my doppelganger. Well, more doppel, less gangy. A gentleman by the name of Les Borsai, and Les, I'm a few years his senior, but he's not quite as good looking as me, but we are similar. Some people could easily mistake us. Not with the hair the way I have it right now, though, Les.
I'm actually not sure that you are older than me. You look older, but
I'm certain of it, because I'm looking at your bio right now. You were born in 1968. So I was born the year the Beatles invaded America. But you are an LA-based tech entrepreneur, a music promoter, a manager, an advisor in crypto blockchain, and all of these things. You're deep, deep, deep in the blockchain, crypto, and NFT space. I mean, you knew CryptoPunks when CryptoPunks came out.
I did, and I was fortunate enough to buy one and fortunate enough to lose one. As we do with wallets, sometimes that we can't find.
Travis wouldn't know anything about losing stuff at all.
So what you're saying, Les, is you have less CryptoPunks than you should have?
By half.
By half. Okay.
Did you get a free one when they came out, or did you
No, because if I did, it would have been connected to the wallet that I originally purchased it with, and but I did get aggressive about buying me-bits after that whole CryptoPunk me-bit drop.
Keep your hands off me bits. Don't even be looking at my bits, let alone talking about me bits.
Yeah,
okay,
I missed me bits. I was like, oh, let me grab a me bit. Oh, damn, they're already gone. What the hell?
Yeah, no bits.
I mean, you could always just take the approach I take and just pay more on OpenSea. Apparently, because I miss every drop. It's hard to stay on Twitter.
Why don't you give us the short version of your bio, what you've done, who you've worked with, and how you went down the crypto rabbit hole?
So I'll try to make it incredibly concise. When I was a young, I left home very early. I was going to say ran away, and I needed to find a way to make a living. And what I did was I started throwing parties in warehouses, which was really the first incarnate too. And then I went to the Silicon tech and music. And it was an enhanced CD company where a lot of the information could be kept on the disk to create a better experience because we didn't have a very fast internet back then. And I did that. Then I came back here and I managed artists, including Jason Mraz and a bunch of other artists. And I woke up one day and I did not want to do that anymore. So I further engaged kind of in tech music plays and launched a bunch of kind of iPhone apps with music artists using real masters and learn how to license IP and create kind of these alternative ways to make income. But at the same time, I saw Bitcoin trading for about 200 a coin in 2013. And I became an advisor for Ripple in 2013. And in 2014, I did the Ethereum pre-sale. I feel like I should take a pause and let you say something, but there's a little more, I guess. So as I got into crypto and kind of participated in all of the ICOs that were happening, I got together with David Seymour, who was a venture capitalist. He had the Wavemaker funds in Asia, and another guy named Ben Sine. We co-founded Wave Financial. And what Wave is, we were really preparing for the institutional acceptance of blockchain and cryptocurrency, and we formed it about 3 years ago. And it's really three simple things. It's a series of venture funds, including the Cardano fund. We also do treasury management for high net worths and protocols, and we create financial products. I think we've now passed about $600 million in AUM. So that's exciting. We made it through kind of 18, 19, and 20 somehow. Kind of like the Forrest Gump shrimp boat. We made it through, so we're still here. But at the same time, I got really interested in NFTs. So I'll pause there for a minute. That was kind of the background.
And I do remember you now even more clearly, because when Joel mentioned the doppelganger thing, I was like, oh yeah, everywhere. I think it was World CryptoCon or something. We turn around and like, oh wait, here's the guy that looks like Joel again, kind of. And we do have some photos together. I've seen it on my phone. So
yeah, we were really close back then.
I had to grow my hair more because I'm in, but here's my glasses that I normally wear, so those are
really close.
Kind of similar.
Yeah, that is true. Next time we see Les, he's going to have like this big, old, huge mane of hair. He's going to be like, hey, Joel, how are you doing? I wanted to make sure to stay close.
My hair was like that for many, many years. Think about it. I came from the music business. I'll share some of those photos later.
Very nice. So what are some of the things, because you've done a lot of stuff, right? There's no denying it. You got into crypto pretty early, especially if you were part of the Ethereum pre-sale and whatnot. Like, what excites you the most right now? Like, what are some of the developments that you just go, damn, there's some really cool stuff that's heading up in this area?
Well, about 4 months ago, I was looking at a lot of the DeFi stuff, and as a registered investment advisor, we kind of had to be careful around the DeFi stuff. But I was really kind of frustrated because I wanted our team, the younger guys especially, to be looking at this stuff. When you take a look at the way they're approaching, financial yield and returns through DeFi. I just loved the attitude about it. First off, and you take a look at the return. What these guys, it was really incredible. Cryptocurrency, inside the NFTs, creating metaverses, and you saw this huge economy emerging, that was gamified. And these guys are doing anywhere from $20 to $90 million of business a day, in transactions, and they had a robust, market that they could sell things out of it, and that's really where the light kind of turned on. And I, convinced them that I should be an advisor. And the thing about Aavegotchi was they had this meme called Gotchi Gang, which was a little pump.
Take the next left onto Trick G Galea, then turn right onto Trick Heel Nisirial Kardima.
Little pump into Aavegotchi.
Take the next right onto Trick Heel Nisirial Kardima, then turn left onto Trick Heel Ferrovia El Kardima.
You know, a platform and not be like overtly promoting.
Take the next right onto Trick Vittorio Casa, then turn left onto Trick Heel Ferrovia El Kardima.
Opened up my eyes to DeFi and NFTs. You know, which I
Take
think
the next left onto Trick Heel
exciting
Ferrovia El Kardima.
because there's so much you can do with NFTs.
Let's talk about that. You know,
In
what are some
600
of the
meters, turn right onto Trick San
interesting
Francisco.
things you're seeing now, and where do you think it's going? What will be really cool and get you stoked when you see it happen?
So yeah, I mean, and just to back up a little bit, you know, I always had an artist sense.
We don't back up here. We just go forward.
I'm just going to go.
We just
forward.
run over the stuff, because if you back up, you know, like when you go bring your rental car back and it pops your tires, dude, you don't want a flat tire.
I've done that. Where do you go from that? I was looking at a lot of the sites.
You ignore me and you keep talking.
I was looking at a lot of the sites, and you know, for me, Nifty Gateway and a lot of those sites weren't the best representation for an artist. You know, they would lump artists together, and I, you know, like to joke that you'd be the biggest artist on eBay, you know, if you were doing a drop, if you're a musician or whatnot. And so, as I looked at kind of these
Turn right onto Trick San Francisco.
You know, either integrate an artist subtly, or boy, when you bring something up like that, Joel, it totally throws you off. Like in my head, I'm just spinning around like, where do I get back to this?
In 300 meters, turn left onto Trick Heel, wait Hal Belsen.
What do you expect?
You really appreciate it. But, you know, so back to kind of Aavegotchi, the things that really became exciting, you know, I was always a collector. I was not a good collector. I collected hockey cards, which were probably the worst thing to collect, but I liked that they fought with sticks and they were fun to collect. So, you know, in addition to that, I collected art. So the first thing that was really struck me was I knew that there would be dexes where you could trade, you know, digital collectibles. And if I invested, you know, a good amount of money into a digital collectible, I always liked the idea that I could pull it out immediately. You know, with the art on my walls, it's impossible to pull it out. You know, I'd have to go to Sotheby's, I'd have to wait, you know, 6 months till they have the right type of contemporary show, you know, and I may get the price or not get the price. And the things that the DeFi guys, you know, really understood was the ability to you know, lend against or borrow against.
Turn left onto Trick Heel, wait Hal
So
Belsen.
if you looked at an NFT, kind of in the same way as just kind of any token, you now had immediate liquidity as these things, you know, begin to emerge. The other thing that, you know, I saw was these
400 meters, continue room design, free parking onto Trick, wait Hal.
A game where there was rarity and based on that, and this was another thing that was in Aavegotchi, they would redistribute the money they might be making from the market because of the way it was governed. So that was really cool too, that, you know, you could earn money with a collectible. The other thing that was really innovative to me was, you know, I bought, you know, a handful of apes from Bored Ape Yacht Club. You know, that connection to, you know, where the metaverse component, the Web3 components are coming, you know, the fact that I could make that investment, I liked them anyway, and then they would airdrop me dogs from the kennel, you know, that had huge value. You know, if I go out and buy a painting, they're not sending me a free painting in a couple of weeks. So I thought that was really also cool that you could do that. And, you know, these things could change eventually. And you know, if you look at the Me Bits, which we were talking about earlier, I mean, the coolest thing about the Me Bits, you know, is I put an Oculus Quest on and my identity is connected to my Me Bit. It's just right there already. And it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how the Facebook avatars, you know, don't allow Me Bits to do all the same things that the Facebook avatars are going to allow, and how that's going to impact it. But you can take a Me Bit, for instance, which I did, and you can turn it into an AR artifact, an augmented reality artifact, and have it do a whole bunch of things. So I think, you know, a collectible is not just collectible. I think the people that look at it like, well, you know, why would I invest in this art? It's really all the different kind of underlying functionalities you have with these things that make them interesting and innovations. And it's the same kids that are innovating DeFi that are innovating, a lot of the same kids anyway, that are innovating the NFT space right now.
Right on. So you mentioned that you've been in the music industry for a long time. You've done a lot of stuff in that space. So, kind of piggybacking on with that, with NFTs and DeFi, like what are some of the things that you're seeing in the music space that's maybe sort of blowing your mind, or where do you think, things are going to be heading down the road, or what is an ideal kind of a cool NFT music thing that gets you going?
Well, yeah, it's funny. So I was involved in the Marshmallow drop that was on Ido, just from a connecting point of view, more than anything else. And it was exciting to see that happen because that was actually a staking auction. So the currency that went into the piece, which essentially was loaned out, creates almost this annuity back to the artist. And it was a quite sizable kind of NFT drop. I think it might have been the second biggest entertainment drop. So that was pretty exciting. But I think, like anything else, the thing that really happened when everything was on fire was every single kind of rec company guy, manager, and artist was saying, well, where's ours? Where's ours? And they weren't thinking about crypto necessarily in the same way, during 17 when the ICOs happened. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of problems with promoting ICOs. The thing that's interesting about this is you don't really have the same problems. A collectible doesn't have to be the music, so you can get away with not doing the same rights. You get away with kind of launching something without the same rights issues in terms of a major artist not owning their publishing or master recordings. So that makes it really interesting as well. And these guys are getting smart about what they want to do. If you look at what Katy Perry just did a week or so ago, she did something with Justin from Twitch and Steven. I've never pronounced the name of this token. Theta, Theta. Anyway, they did a big deal, with her Vegas show.
That's Theta. That's Theta.tv, yeah.
Yeah, so that was really interesting because that pairing is just not the most natural thing you would think of immediately. And you see people looking at this in a different way. And when we get to things like being able to shard music and have a piece of music that now is many pieces, not tokenization, but actually just individual collectibles that are part of a bigger piece, that also gets interesting with what you can do, especially with the guys that own the rights to their music. So that's exciting. I just think you're going to see creativity flourish. It's not necessarily going to be now about the money you can make. It was early. So I think you're going to see people developing really interesting spaces. I mean, I'm really looking forward to a lot of the metaverse stuff. It's a whole new ball game, being able to build in the metaverse. And I'm that dumb guy that saw the land. I was there early, and I'm like, who the hell would buy this?
Which metaverses do you think have the most promise? What's number 1, 2, and 3 on your list?
It's always going to be crypto voxels and Decentraland. They were early. What's going to be interesting is to see the new kind of metaverses that are emerging and whether they're decentralized or not.
What about Sandbox? I mean, they're selling like crazy.
Yeah, that
Wi-Fi now disabled.
That's pretty interesting. I bought some sand, but I don't think I bought any land. I mean, it's just that would, going back to the story of when I got interested in this and went down the rabbit hole, just really spending time looking at everything. There's so much to look at.